Hey Norm, welcome to the 2019 OEC golf event. Just want to let your swing play through here, and then we'll put you back in your dress position and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you here in your setup, let's just take a look at your posture. We can see that your spine is nice and straight and on a tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Your arms hang down nice and naturally in front of you, and the club works out to the golf ball. So you're achieving really good posture here, also in association with really good balance at address. It looks great. Next thing we want to observe from this vantage point is your alignment. We can see that your feet are running in this direction here. We carry that out towards the intended target. Now, theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet, and parallel lines on camera would have an appearance of converging. So we're pretty much set up, I would say, down the center to right center of the fairway. So that's a really good job as well. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison between you and Jordan Spieth. We'll flip them over to left-handed to mirror image you. Now, as we go ahead and initiate the takeaway, we want to basically draw the golf club back by creating good shoulder rotation, bringing the arms and hands back as well as the club. And we want to see the club coming back directly along the red line, so directly on plane. From this vantage point here, we want to start establishing some good wrist hinge into play, where we're going to transition the club head from below to above the hands. And then at this point, we're going to work the golf club from red up to yellow or blue. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, the right arm and the club are going to be situated on the yellow line pretty much, or the blue line, depending on how steep our swing is. But anywhere within that blue-yellow V zone is fine. We also want to create full shoulder rotation and do this about a very stable left leg. We'll go ahead and watch you initiate your takeaway here. We can see that you push your hands out away from your core, so the shaft of the golf club and the club head are moving outside of your swing plane. You got some shoulder rotation happening, hands are coming back. The geometry with respect to your arms and your golf club looks really, really good. We just want to see this shift back in behind you a little. So when you initiate your takeaway, there's nothing wrong with you sending your hands and arms a little bit more around your body and to the inside. Okay? As you continue to move back here, you continue to turn, you start to get some wrist hinge into play. Looks really, really good. And as we work this golf club up to the top, you obviously work yourself into maybe a little bit of a steep position, and that's just because of that outside takeaway. So if you were to swing your hands and arms again a little bit more around and inside, we could shallow out this set position just a little bit. At the top here, we've got good shoulder rotation, stable left side. Your arm geometry looks great relative to your core. You're still maintaining that nice triangular position in the arms. The club's in good position relative to the arms. So everything looks pretty solid there, other than the fact that we're just a little bit steep, and this may cause you to come into the ball a little steep as well, and a little from outside of swing plane. As we create our transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our left foot to our right foot. We want to drive our knees and our hips to the target, unwind our core and fire our hands, and in doing so we want to make sure we're bringing the golf club from blue back to yellow, and then ultimately back down to red, which is where the club originated. And that's exactly what we see here with Jordan Spieth. The golf club has returned right back to being on plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as a check mark position. It simply means that the club head right now is remaining above and behind his hands coming into the ball, and this is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, let alone his ability to hit the ball straight due to the fact that the club has returned back to plane. With your transition back into the ball here, we do see those hands coming over the top for sure. And that's going to cause you to come into the ball too steep, and this golf club is never going to return back to the red line. So we can just track your club head here. We can see very clearly that the club has not returned back to plane. The club shaft is obviously at this point in time extremely steep, sitting here at about 69 degrees. And if we just continue to track that club head coming into the ball, we're going to just see that this club keeps falling further and further out in front. If we connect the dots, give you a little bit clearer picture, as to that descending move into the ball and just how steep that golf club is coming in. So again, with Jordan Spieth, look at where his club returned back to the red line, and then he attacks the ball directly from this red line, so directly from plane. And ultimately, as I said, this is what allows us to hit the ball straight in accordance to our alignment, lastly assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. So the three most important things we need: we have to aim well, feet have to run parallel to our target line, the club has to return back to plane, and then we have to square the face up via having a good grip. At this point in time, we can take a look at the path of the club. We can very clearly see with Jordan Spieth that the club is inside the ball. It expands out to make contact and then moves through on a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is stuck outside the ball, dropping down and across to make contact, so we can see the path at which that golf club is traveling. It's moving from out to in. So very simply put, if we happen to square the club face up to that path with the club having attacked outside, hitting the ball and moving inside, very simply put, what's going to happen is we're going to pull the golf ball over in this direction. If we happen to release the club too much in association with that path, we're going to also impart some left to right spin. Not only will we pull it, but we'll hit a pull draw or a pull hook. So your tendency, obviously, subconsciously, is going to be to leave the club face open. That allows you hopefully not to pull the ball as far to the right as what you're swinging. The ball can hopefully get blocked a little bit out more towards the target. Then by the face being open, you're imparting right to left spin, and hopefully you can put a nice little fade on it and the ball will find the intended target. If the club face remains too open, you'll block the ball probably even a little further left, even though we're swinging the club pretty aggressively off to the right. Club face is wide open, helping you block the ball out towards the intended target, but now we have way too much right to left spin, and you're going to hit sort of this block slice. So the end result of the golf shot is dictated based on the timing of the club face. When the club attacks the ball from out to in, swings along this red path, if we square the face, it follows blue. If we over-release the face, it continues to follow those smaller blue arrows. If we leave it open to that red path, it follows yellow, everything turns out. And if we leave it too open, it follows the red arrows, and we're going to miss the ball to the left. At this point in time, through impact, your left heel's off the ground, just like we see with Jordan Spieth. Just watch the continued activity through this golf shot, how the left heel comes fully up off the ground onto the toe of the left foot. That allows his hips to square around, shoulders to fully rotate, his hands are high and the club's back in behind him. As we watch him move through, excellent job with your upper body. Your lower body's a little late, but you end up sort of creating that footwork, so it does allow you to get to a finishing position for sure, so that's great. Overall, some good athletic qualities with respect to your golf swing. Your hands work really, really well. They come back, they fire through. Your core's working well. You coil back, you uncoil through. You've got great footwork that's allowing you to get through to a good finish. So overall, there's a really good athletic-looking quality to the golf swing. It's just that, again, three things we need. We have to aim well, we have to bring the club down on plane, and we have to have a good grip. Based on what I'm seeing with you, your alignment's a little to the right, not that big of a deal. Now you may be aiming just a little right because you're obviously accustomed to probably playing a bit of the fade. But again, your alignment's not that far off. The biggest issue here is that you send your hands during your backswing, you send them to the outside. You get too steep, and then this over-the-top move causing you to attack the ball from out to in is really going to wreak havoc on your golf game for sure. At that point in time, when you swing through on that path, you have to compensate with the club face. So your grip appears to be pretty good as well. So you do have two of the three criteria. You have pretty decent aim, pretty decent grip, but the downswing plane and the path definitely needs to be corrected. Anyways, if at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects, I'm over at Glen Abbey, obviously where the event was held. Be happy to set up a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments and you guys are looking for a unique gift to give to your guest, certainly feel free to touch base and be happy to discuss my swing analysis services with you. Anyways, hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Hope you've had a great summer, and hope you enjoy the rest of the fall and get a chance to play a little bit more golf.